Powerdiverter is a low-cost option for providing free hot water from solar PV. The product comes in two parts. You have a sensor unit, which very simply clips around the power cable coming into the home, and that knows precisely how much electricity you're generating at any time. And as soon as it detects any excess power, it sends a signal by remote control to a second unit, which is situated next to your hot water cylinder. And it receives a signal and applies precisely that excess amount to your hot water cylinder. We've really simplified how to install our Powerdiverter. We now believe it's the easiest to install in the UK. It's got one button operation, one button setup. There's no maintenance, and it can be fitted within 20 minutes. So from a customer point of view, they really love it because you can be in and out of their home real quick. You know, there's no stress there and worries about new pipes and using up more space. You're just using what you've got. I come from a trade background, and I've always been trying to find products to make my life easier and to make myself as efficient as possible.
What I'm going to do now is two tests on the thermostat and the immersion heater element itself using a test meter, making sure that the power at the fuse spur is turned off first. So for the first test, we'll set it to the beep continuity setting, and we'll put the test probes across the in and out terminals of the thermostat switch. And that beep tells you that the thermostat switch is working. We'll now set the meter to ohms and measure the heater element. To do this test, I'm going to put the probes against the live and neutral wires in the heater and look for the resistance measurement. It's about 20 ohms. So that's a 3 kilowatt heater element. Before refitting the cap on the heater, just check the thermostat is set to 60 degrees.
We were really conscious that this product had to be safe, it had to be reliable, and it had to be rugged. Powerdiverter is fully compliant to British standards. We've sent it to a test house, to an EMC test house, and we've now got an EMC filter that's fitted in our unit. It now fully complies to British and EN standards. For installers, this is a great product. It's a great way to fill the gaps in between busy install times, and a great way to revisit your existing client base. We've done an assessment on competitors' products, and we know that ours is the easiest to install now in the UK. Typically, other devices will take around about 2 hours to install. We know we can install ours within 15-20 minutes, no problem, providing the setup's correct. In most cases, that's the case.
So that's our controller unit fitted now, and we'll move on to the wiring, taking the existing immersion heater cable from the fuse spur, which goes down to the heater, cutting it in the middle and joining it through the Powerdiverter.
There's no plumbing required for fitting a Powerdiverter. All you're doing is cutting the cable between the fuse spur and the heating element. That's it. So we've worked hard to look at every component within the product. So the way you connect the cables into the product, we've now got Wago connectors, really high quality German Wago connectors, which are toolless. Just snap it down with the lever and it's done in seconds. We've had great feedback from installers now. They're saying compared to other products on the market, it's just so easy to use, and using Powerdiverter is their #1 choice now.
With all the wiring done now, we can put the cover back on the control unit and move on to setting up the sensor unit.
The next thing we need to do is to pair the sensor unit to the control unit. It's very easy to do. You just open up the battery compartment, pull the tab out to activate the sensor unit. You switch on your fuse spur and you press and hold the easy boost button for 5 seconds until the green light flashes rapidly on the control unit, and then shortly after the lights will flash on the sensor unit. It pairs the units with an encrypted code. What that means is it can't talk to any other unit, so if your next door neighbour has a Powerdiverter, the two can't communicate.
Okay, so that's all paired up now, and we'll move down to install the sensor unit. Now we're at the consumer unit, and we've got the mains fuse, the supply meter, and a Henley block that joins to the consumer unit fuse board. And we need to locate the place where we're going to install the sensor clamp, which in this case would be just here, the live cable between the Henley block and the supply meter.
When you install the sensor unit, you have two options. We have batteries, which means that you can install the sensor unit in seconds, or we've also got a power adapter in the box. All you need is a socket anywhere between the mains meter and the fuse board.
The last part in installing the sensor clamp is making sure that the arrows embossed on the top of the clamp point towards the consumer unit in the house. And I'll open up the clamp and install it on the live cable. Just checking again, the arrows point towards the house. So we've finished installing the sensor unit. It's sunny outside, the inverter's working hard, and you can see the LED on the sensor unit blinking green to show exported power. Back up at the controller unit, check that the green light on the top is blinking to show data is being received from the sensor unit. You should see one or more red lights indicate power being diverted to the immersion heater. Now, if you turn a kettle on in the house, you should see any or all of the red lights on the display turn off, showing that energy is now no longer being diverted. When the kettle stops, they should turn back on again. And that completes our installation. For more information, please visit our website.